Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're going to talk about how you know if the offer that you're making to somebody is actually any good or not. And it's really simple. If you get rejected, do you react and get angry? And if the answer is yes, then you lose and your offer is no good. And if you don't get angry, then it turns out your offer is quite good, right? And so this is how I think about it. Let's say like I applied to Harvard, okay? I applied to Harvard and Harvard rejected me. Now, your average student who gets rejected from Harvard will get really, really angry and that they got rejected from Harvard. And so, who's offering more value? Is it Harvard because they're the prestigious institution, or is it the student because the student knows that they're bringing in their knowledge and their enthusiasm for learning into that institution? Well, if you are the student and you apply to Harvard and you get angry that Harvard rejected you, then Harvard brings more value than you would as a student, right? And then if you're the one bringing more value to Harvard, then that's when Harvard pulls out the scholarships. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, okay, you know what? You're a genius who's discovered, I don't know, super Wi-Fi internet in your basement, come to Harvard and we'll let you go here for free and graduate from our school, right? And so if you go to Harvard, or I'm sorry, if you apply to Harvard and you get rejected and you get angry, that literally means that Harvard provides more value to you than you provide to Harvard, right? Now, if you apply to Harvard and you get rejected and you feel absolutely nothing, then that means you provide more value to Harvard than Harvard does to you. Because why? If Harvard rejects you, right, then that's like, kind of think of it as like the local community college rejected you, even though like you're like the top straight A student. And nothing is community colleges. Like I love community colleges, right? Cheap, good education. But I'm just saying from the status game, right? From the status game, um, if the local community college rejects you and you're the valedictorian, you're not angry. You're just like scratching your head, right? You're like, what's going on here? And then you just kind of scratch your head, and you're just kind of like, huh? Like why? What? Like I'm the valedictorian. Why would the local community college reject me? But it doesn't matter anywhere else. I'm gonna go, right? But you're just kind of like you're not angry, you're just kind of curious and a little bit confused. And that's how you kind of know whether your offer that you're making in the marketplace is good or not. And what I've noticed throughout the years, and this isn't just to one specific person, this is to many, many people. And how I know that their offer is no good is because I'll just kind of simply reject it just to see how they react. You know what I mean? Like once you get into my position, oh, by the way, I'm just showing you one of my rental checks so that I can tell you like what position I'm in. But once you get into my position and you reject offers, you really know if the person making it to you was like if they had a good offer or not, right? Because what happens if their offer is no good is they start to insult you and act like you're the worst person on earth and probably even threaten you. Now, I'm going to tell you a story from a long time ago, about 2 years ago, when I first put a rental property on the market, and some of you might have already heard this story. Believe it or not, I have really low standards. Like I offered, like I was just like, here, like if you got a pulse and you got some money, I'll um, I'll rent it out to you. In fact, I leased it out to like 7 people, or I offer leases to 7 people. And the only person who took my offer was the person who offered me the most money, like out of the gate. And I was like, deal. You know what I mean? That's why I've been getting these 14 grand checks. But um, it's funny because I was just like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do what I can to, if I know that rents can be a little bit high, but here's the rent. And maybe I can offer you some assistance. You just need to sign the lease and then move in. And then so many people either ghosted me, made excuses. They acted like they had all the time in the world, even though there's a housing shortage. And the person who offered me the most money up front was like the was actually like valued what I had to offer, you know what I mean? But I never got mad at any of those people who didn't do what they said that they were going to do. But I'm going to tell you, there's this one cat, right? There's this one person who is like, trying to act like my house is no good, even though I spent like about 30 to 40 grand renovating it. And he's like trying to point out all the flaws. And he was like, and you might have heard this story before, where he's like, oh, yeah, yeah, look at all this and this. And it's like, well, I think I should get a $200 discount. And if you know anything about me, I just kind of play dumb. And I'm like, oh, yeah, $200 discount. Tell me about that. And then he's like, well, if I do this, 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 and this, and blah 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 blah, and all this stuff to kind of justify the $200 discount. And he made plenty of money, so I don't know what his deal was. Basically, if you know anything about me, I'll just do everything I can to get rid of you at my doorstep. And just like, wow, that's pretty good consideration. Let me talk about it with my lawyer or something like that, and then I'll get back to you. And then that's just me telling, like, when I write the rejection emails, like, hey, I just talked about this with my lawyer, and he said if I get a $200 discount to anybody, I'm actually going to not cash flow at all. We'll take a look at these expenses, and that's actually kind of true, right? But at the same time, like, uh, I wrote that email and I sent it to him. And then, like, in a couple seconds, like, he calls me back and he says, no, no, please, please, please. Because he was, like, in the beginning trying to point out all the flaws in my house, right? And nothing makes you more angry, like, when you put all the work and effort into your house and people diss it, especially when you're in a housing shortage and it's a beautiful property, 2 acre farm type property, and ranch house, and everything's convenient, it's really lovely. And then he was trying to point out everything wrong with the house. And then when I rejected it, I knew his offer was no good because he got angry at me. He was trying to like insult me, and then he acted like, I don't know what it is, but dumb people always think they're the only buyer in the marketplace. Like, I don't know why, but it's just like, you're not like the only buyer in the marketplace, just like I'm not the only seller, right? But it was so it was so incredibly, like, weird that he would do that. I was just like confused. Like, why would you make this offer? And if I reject it, because again, you're asking for a $200 discount when the market rate is what it is, right? Like, we have comps on the area of what people are charging. So why would I give a $200 discount when I spent 30 to 40 grand renovating the place, to get it rent ready? Like, that makes no sense, right? And of course, I didn't tell him that. But again, because people make crap offers, I don't know any way to say it, and they don't know how to provide anything of value to the marketplace when it gets rejected, and maybe it's because their ego's on the line for whatever reason, they get really, really, really angry. They get like really, really, really angry, right? Like, I'm not going to accept that person as a tenant who disrespects what I'm offering to the marketplace. No, absolutely not. I want the tenant who's going to offer me checks like these and then sends me text messages. And this is a literally true story. You might have seen this in other YouTube videos that I made, where they're off. After giving me a check like this, like, thank you so much, we appreciate you. All right, so who do I want? The tenant who's like trying to diss my house and get a $200 discount and then reject his offer, his crappy offer, then he gets angry at me, or the tenant who pays the money up front and sends a text message, "Oh my goodness, thank you so much." Right? Like, which am I gonna take? I'm gonna take the offer that makes the most sense to me. But most people, I don't know what it is, for some reason, like, act like you're some sort of a moron for not taking their crappy offer, and it's a crappy offer because they get angry at you for not taking it, right? Like, if you're angry that Harvard rejected you, it's probably because you suck. Like, I'm not kidding about this. I don't think Harvard. Like, for me, if I am, let's say, a high school student today, and I submit an application to Harvard, and Harvard rejected me, it's I would feel absolutely nothing because I would just be confused. Like, I am the one providing the value, not the institution, right? And I would not get mad. I'd just be like confused. Like, dude, I'm like the best, student, learner, contributor to the academic institution, and so why, like, I'm confused. It's like the local um, community college rejecting you when you're the valedictorian. You know what I mean? Like, Harvard has no worth to me. But most people don't know how to, let's say, play the status game correctly. They don't. This is why, like, sometimes, like, you see this once in a while where if you just put a price on in front of somebody, they get like so offended, like, oh, I can't believe that you're charging money for this, and they act like, that you're this insane person for wanting money for your time and service. But then we know when they go to work, like they don't apply the same logic. Like it doesn't, like they don't, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense. But people are really this stupid, and I have to make videos like this so that when you talk to me, you don't apply the same stupid logic that I've seen from other people, right? Like, folks, I'm gonna say this. I have really low standards, and I'm just like the banks. I don't know if you knew this or not, but banks in many ways have really low standards that most people cannot meet. Like, I remember I took this business credit course, okay? Business credit. And the teacher said that 90% of business credit applications are fraudulent and they don't like pass the first submission process because they don't have things like an actual business, an actual business address, an actual business email, an actual business phone number, right? I got all those things. And that's why like I got like business credit and I was like, whoa, the bank standards are kind of low. You know what I mean? And I'm like that with my rental too. Listen, I'm not like the most stringiest person with my rental or whatever, but just don't be an idiot. And I'm amazed how so many people are like, cannot meet my low standards, right? If you say you're going to come in on the 15th and you make a promise, don't like say, hey, can I get 6 more weeks? You know what I mean? Like, don't do that. But I'm just telling you, like, people cannot just meet the basic standards or criteria, and they don't even know how to make good offers. Like, they don't know how to negotiate. They don't know how to make offers that make sense. It's just like, hey, man, let me give you this offer. You got to do something for me, and if if everything goes right, then you lose money, and then if everything goes wrong, you really really lose money, right? That's just how people are, man. I can't believe it, but yeah. So what's the moral of the lesson? You need to know how to make good offers, and if you're getting angry that people are not taking your offer, then your offer sucks. I don't ever get angry because, frankly, I don't even need anybody's money. Okay, so that's it for today. Have a great day, everybody. This is Creating Atlanta Mentorship.